Hello, hello.
Hey, man, how you doing? Morning.
We are banded, right?
We're banded.
Whoa, I just hit the brakes hard. So I don't know exactly what the heck route this is, but just on the basic description, I realized this is probably not a badge that I would have free rode on my own. And
Yep.
And I guess it's long, huh?
It's 40 kilometers.
Okay, so what are the, it said was it triple loop or triple hill?
Triple loops.
So how many climbs?
2 hills. It's Leaf Hill, and there's the backside of another one. Not remember the name of. What is it? Fox.
Leaf Hill, Fox Hill, all of them?
No, it's not. It's only Leaf Hill and the backside of Box Hill.
Okay, I think that one's Fox Hill. They Fox and Box.
Fox.
Yeah. I was just doing 35 kilometers an hour, so.
Yeah, you're way up there. I think I don't know. It's so weird, the banded thing. Because, sometimes we can just be all right next to each other. But now it looks like there's a few people way up ahead.
Yeah, I think the starting is always odd until it settles out.
Oh, no, we're good. We're all within 6 seconds of each other, it looks like, on my Zwift companion, at least.
So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I don't know. How many do we have?
7.
Yeah, you scared me when you said at the end of the sprint race, you said something like, "Oh yeah, Ven 2 tomorrow," and I'm like, "Wait, what?"
No. I got a week ahead.
Hang on, I gotta take the headphones off for a minute. I have a full, heavy sweatshirt on. Ugh.
Is it an ATP sweatshirt?
Is anyone streaming?
I'm recording.
It is not. I'll tell you later. I've got some oddness going on. Hang on, let me change the headset.
Hey guys, you there?
Hey.
Hey, here.
Oh my God, late start. I was chewing my breakfast until 30 seconds ago. I almost brought my coffee down to the basement with me.
Got no problem with that.
Oh my God.
So this is a big level up type ride, big experience, right? Like 600 experience points or something like that.
Let's see. Look at my notes here. 800.
So I don't know what level you're at, Randy, but you're gonna get the mileage points for the ride, and then at the end on the badge you'll get another 800, which is that might be enough. I thought you were at the lower levels but I don't know that for a fact.
I'm 26. I can see it on my screen.
So how close is that blue or that bar? Oh, you
orange.
I guess you wouldn't see it in the meetup, would you?
Oh no, I don't.
Yeah.
Hey, but I do have a question. Because it's so much easier to actually have a conversation than typing it all out. I have never actually used my points to buy stuff, stuff for my garage. And I've got 4 million in there.
That's awesome.
Like, truly, it's like 4073 and counting.
So here's the fun, right? So people will debate for hours. What
I talked the other day about time trial wheels, and I was like, oh my God, I guess I could use my points to buy stuff.
Yes, a time trial. You should have I think that the Zwift default time trial bike is I think it might even be steel. I'm not even sure. I saw in that comparison, it was it gave you no speed advantage at all. Okay, so hold on. Where I was going with this is people will debate bike choice for hours online, and then they'll point you to the tests of the bikes. And when you dig into the tests, you'll find out that the guy doing the testing puts a constant speed and a constant weight for like 1 hour, and then compares the time. And the time that we're talking about is measured in seconds, sometimes in half seconds. So
You know, I
bike-
wish I had a degree in engineering, because that would actually be a lot of fun.
well, and it is for some people. So just, I guess the caution here is that, hey, bike choice is sometimes overstated. However, then we get into I think the gravel bike. There's somebody, what's the name? The Grail? What's the name of the big gravel bike?
Or the Grail.
Yeah. So having that particular gravel bike is a pretty big deal when you get onto one of those routes that's going to be like so the mountain bike is like faster in the dirt, but it's heavy. So
Right.
the gravel bike is a little slower, but it's light, so it climbs in the dirt significantly better than anything
Okay.
else. So
Okay.
you need a good gravel bike, and
Okay.
you should get a good time trial bike.
Okay.
Those are probably, because we race on a variety of courses and routes,
Sure.
and then you
Look,
can
I
go.
do it in real life too, you know.
Okay.
And I've raced on dirt, and you know, I've debated: do I do my road bike? Do I use my gravel bike? You know, how muddy is it? If it's not muddy, if it's hard packed, I'm better on my road bike.
So we've got all that. So I'm sure that somebody in here would love to tell you what the best thing you can buy at level 27 is.
Okay.
But that somebody isn't me. And again, a little bit of an explanation is I was level 50 a year ago, and I have 10 million drops, and if there's something that catches my eye, I get it. So
Wow. Okay.
I don't track, what's available at what level very closely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, and I'm not built like everybody else either. You know, I'm 4'11". I weigh 100 pounds.
All right,
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
we need the
Yeah.
course. You should get on. You should pull us up the hill.
Well,
Fuck.
did you see what I rode yesterday?
No.
I raced up Mont 2 yesterday.
Good golly, why? I mean, great.
Because it was staring me in the face, and I've actually done Von 2. In fact, I've done Von 2 2 days in a row. Once from the north side, and then the following day from the south side.
Oh, that's awesome. How'd you get?
In fact, they both have awesome stories, because the day we did the north side was the day before the Tour de France. And so the roads were closed. And my husband had a massive tire blowout, like an explosion blowout, with like a 2-inch long gash. And there was no support we could get because the roads were closed. so, we use, dollar bills and euros. And I was ready to start, eating goose to put the dough, pack down in there. And we got them up to the top. We were able to get a tire change and a real boot. But, of course, we never, ever, ever go out the door without a tire boot since that day. Someone stuck something in my rear pocket. When I got to the top, well, actually, it's Chalet Renaud where I got stopped. But I reached in my pocket to see what it was. Now, it was like 90 degrees out, you know, and the sun's beating down on my back, and it was a chocolate bar. Inedible at that point, really.
So how did you get bikes?
We bring our bikes. My husband and I have traveled 19 countries now with our bikes. It's only the last two that we didn't because it was Patagonia in the end of January of 20. So it was 3 weeks before everything got shut down. We got back on February 3rd. It was literally like weeks before everything shut down. And in fact, all the TSA agents in the Santiago airport were wearing face masks already. And so were the travelers coming from Asia. And we're like, wow, maybe this thing is legit. And my husband's a doctor. But it was a mountain bike ride through Chile and Argentina. Bearing in mind, I don't mountain bike, and I have no mountain biking skills. I'm not even good on the gravel bike, you know? So I do gravel events that don't have single track, that are simply on dirt roads, because I can't do, I'm a wuss on single track. So we rented their mountain bikes. We don't even own mountain bikes. But otherwise, we've brought our own bikes everywhere.
So back to when you bring the bike, do you rent a car big enough to carry your bikes? So
we've done all sorts of different variations. We have done group trips with a leader and a van. Probably more of those than anything. We've done private trips because I wanted to make my own itinerary. Especially like Israel, you know, going top to bottom in Israel, it's too short to be any kind of meaningful mileage, and you don't get to see the things you want to see. So we literally zigzag our way down the entire country to make, you know, border to border, back and forth to make it enough mileage to be anything and to see the stuff we want to see. We had Morocco. We had a private trip because I wanted to get all the way out to the Sahara and back. I wanted to ride a camel in the Sahara when I got out there. You know, it's like stuff like that. And then there have been just us. You know, just us, and we stayed in one place, just us, and we traveled one time from hotel to hotel and used a cab to bring the bike box and our luggage, and we rode it between the two places. So Vancouver we did on our own. Austria we did with one change with a cab. But I wanted to ride the Grossglockner, you know? It's like I set these goals for myself that are sometimes a little absurd, but I do. And if there's a big mountain someplace, I generally I don't want to do it.
Crystal and I did a trip over for the Tour de France, but so we flew into Paris and we were going to the Alps and we went over to Switzerland, and getting the bike there was going to be more difficult than anything else. So we decided that we would get on the list to try to rent the bikes. But renting a bike in the Alps on the days where the Tour de France was coming through would have cost more than our airfare.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and you know, the funny thing is that some airlines don't charge you for the bikes either.
Yeah, the airline
great.
wasn't my problem. It was the rental car. It was how do I
Yeah.
get the bike 6 hours away?
Right. Yeah. So I had arranged a trip to Barcelona. We never did. We canceled that and changed the destination to Corsica, which we never did because of COVID, and then rebooked it for the following year. Still couldn't do it because of COVID. So we've not yet done the Corsica. We were supposed to be doing Sri Lanka next month. I moved that back to the end of March, and I'm hoping that actually goes off. Got airfare and everything. And that's Emirates Airlines. Emirates won't charge me. And that's a private tour because it's custom dates. I could only go when I could go because of work. So, but that was also a top to bottom. So we've done Taiwan top to bottom. We've done the whole north of Thailand. We've done Vietnam, east to west, across the top, under the Chinese border, from like Hanoi across to Sapa. Stunning mountains, by the way. Morocco, obviously, all the way out. Colombia, Bogota to Cartagena. That one was phenomenal. All of Europe. Haven't done Germany, Belgium, but Italy, Switzerland, France, England, Wales, Spain, Austria. I don't know what I'm missing in there. There's usually a few. But I am a bit of a masochist, and I'm a goal setter. I like to have a picture of something in my head that I need to be working for.
So Randy, this is Ken. So when you were on Taiwan, I understand that there's a hill that's considered the toughest hill in the world. Now, did you target that?
Of course. Taroko Gorge. Yeah, there's a race that goes up it. Yeah, another epic story. Because the weather was abominably epic. So, yeah. And I'll say I didn't make it all the way to the top. I got within a mile and a half, and the weather became so treacherous, I bailed. And my husband was behind me by about 10, 15 minutes or so. And when he came by, I was already sitting on the side of the road behind a Jersey barrier, trying to like cuddle myself up in a little ball, trying to stay warm. And I told him just to keep going as long as he could. He got about another half mile before the van caught up with him and flat out made him get in. But,
made him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was sleet, freezing rain, pouring rain, like running down the road. I went over a landslide at one point, and the fog was so bad, I didn't see it until I was on it. I was literally bump over the dirt and gravel. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see my wheel in front of me. It was really bad. Cars wouldn't have been able to see me if there were, and there were a few still, believe it or not. But no, it was really bad. Soaked through, hypothermic, and everybody else in the group had bailed apparently so far back that they couldn't believe we were still going. Or maybe not. Maybe they had already figured out, our mindset and knew we were still up there. But so close to the top. There's one that got away, but I'm not going back to redo it because that weather was, I don't never want to repeat it. And I've ridden in hail. I've ridden in everything you can think of. But going up that mountain in freezing rain was rough.
Sure. Wow.
But yeah, that's how I actually ended up doing that trip. Was a friend who knows me sent me a link about a year before to the race. I said, this one might interest you.
That was immediately on your bucket list.
Yeah. So that was with a company called Spice Roads. Does fabulous trips in Asia. And I used them for that, for Thailand, and the upcoming Sri Lanka. And they're really good about labeling their trips as far as like degree of difficulty. They've got mileage and elevation gain per day. You know, rest days written in, you can see them. You can literally add up all the mileage, all the climbing for the entire trip. So you know what you're getting into.
Right.
And really, really small groups, if it's a group at all.
Huh.
So,
And where's home for you?
Connecticut,
Oh, okay.
where it's rainy and cold and awful.
So you've been in Vermont and New Hampshire and
Many times. I've
all
done
the,
most of those uphill bike races at one time or another.
did you do overland?
No. Did Washington, Escutney, Equinox, Burke, Aquino, Whiteface multiple times. Most of them I did multiple times.
Okay.
Whiteface I think I did 3 times.
So did you do Respetizza then when you were in Perth?
Oh my gosh. I'm not sure. I know I finished dead last in the race. Might have been the first time I did that one. Dead last. I had a mechanical. Had to go back down to the bottom, fix it, get back on, and go back up again. Finished dead last. Won my age division because, as my saying goes, I don't have to be the fastest. I just have to be the oldest. There's zero ego in this.
There you go.
I'm absolutely dead last behind a guy wearing hiking boots and no teeth. But doesn't stop me from trying.
I hear you.
I keep telling Kim that Columbia is one she ought to check out. That one was really amazing. That one has in it the longest mountain climb in the world. 58 miles uphill. All day. Took me all day. And it took a lot of people longer because I was probably in the front third of the group. I would say it probably took me 8 hours to do that. Maybe longer. I have no idea.
I was in Cartagena and Medellin, but not biking. Mostly we were watching airplanes leave.
Oh. Well, it was just north of Medellin, I believe. You can look this one up. It's
Kyoto?
the Alto de Letras.
Okay, is it
like
on?
Alto, like the singing voice, Deletras.
Is it
If
on
you look,
Kyoto?
no,
Okay.
it is its own mountain, and it's if you look it up and climb by bike, it's there. 58 miles, I believe it was, and some of it was like 8-9%. In fact, most of it was not long and 3%. It was an impressive climb. In massive heat too, for a while. And then we went through the clouds at the top of the mountain, because the very top of the mountain was sticking out above the clouds. And so you go through the clouds, and the cloud is cold and wet. It's a cloud, you know? And so by the time I got to the top, even though I was boiling hot, 95 degrees, for most of the ride, it was absolutely frigidly cold at the top. But definitely one that was worth it. It was one that you do a dance at the top. So needless to say, at my weight and my size, the sprints are not my forte.
So, Daniel, did that affect group dynamics at all?
I'm so curious. I think we're going faster right now.
I just,
You intercepted 20,000 from 23 to 24.
I saw the carpet and the flag and couldn't help myself.
Like a kid in a candy store.
Saw that green line and everything glassed over. I noticed I saw a momentary red numbers on your end too there. And I started looking back. Then I started looking back. Oh, did Scott jump too?
Yeah. It was interesting though, because I hit it pretty hard, and I stayed pretty well distance from you, but I was doing about the same watts per kilo as Scott, and I passed him. So I'm just curious how the dynamics affect that.
It'd be, I guess, fun to see sprint times and power with somebody in the group that was not, pushing at all.
Right.
All right, I heard this course goes up somewhere.
Yeah, not for a while. Let's see.
We're going significantly faster than I was expecting. Significantly.
Yeah. I'm doing 2.1. 40 kph. That's usually like, you have to be, for me at least, I have to be at 3.1 or more.
Yeah, 24 miles an hour is my typical Sunday morning group ride. Yeah, great.
So really the only thing we hit is Leaf Hill. That's around 18 kilometers.
Okay.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, like I said,
I'm so worried that as soon as we start going uphill, my legs are going to say nope.
Well, the nice thing about this group is as long as your pedals are turning, you won't lose us. It
That's
keeps
what I'm
you,
hoping.
it pulls you right along with us.
Same effort. It should be same effort that you're at right now. Only you're gonna go up the hill fairly quickly. Relatively quickly. I don't know about quickly. You're going to go up the hill with the same effort you've got now.
Right.
I suspect we will all slow down a lot. Unless, Scott and Alex pull us up the hill.
Have you seen?
I've seen Alan's numbers on hill climbs. He may, he may
do it.
My numbers were terrible yesterday, but, I know better than to try to race 14 miles up that kind of a climb, at like all out effort. I died before the end, and I was fairly unhappy before the end.
You'll have
to
guide.
Next week, we're gonna do that as the group ride.
Oh man, well, it was gorgeous. There's a cog train that went by. There was a cable car up on the top left. There are things to look for.
Scavenger hunt.
But apparently I only went to Chalet Renaud. But my husband, who was next to me, decided when he finished the race to keep going and see where it went. I went another 3 miles like that up to the summit. So my ride had 4,000 feet of climbing. His had over 5. That was his Hanukkah present. We've now got 2 setups next to each other.
What did he end up getting for the trainer?
It's the exact same thing that I have. He's got the kicker core in the back and the climb in the front. Climb is the best part of this. Really. If you don't own one, Merry Christmas to you. It's really cool. It's like a little elevator in the front. When I'm going uphill, I literally go uphill. When I hit 15% yesterday, I was looking at the ceiling. Exactly like I would have on the road. And so you have to change your saddle position the way you do when you climb. So it's really very realistic. Love this part on the way down, not so much on the way back.
I'm curious how the group dynamics of the super tuck on our way down.
Another one of those things that I had never really done, but played with it yesterday. Because when I got done the race, I U-turned and went back down and made sure I felt really good about getting into the super tuck and how long it was going to take me, how fast I needed to be going.
Yep.
Because the descents are where I lose races. I just don't weigh enough. I don't have enough momentum.
We got a few guys with plenty of momentum to share.
Yeah. I ride often with guys. They're the ones I generally want in front of me in a sprint or on a Tuesday night, all out, killer thing, So like being behind linebackers.
Hey, Matt, I resemble that statement.
Listen,
Listen,
linebackers.
linebackers.
I used to
I
go.
used to go to SUNY Albany,
And the
and the
Giants
Giants
used
used
to
to
do
do their preseason there.
And
And
watching
watching
350
350-pound men run
faster
faster than I could ever imagine, that's a compliment.
Wow.
Yeah, I only played soccer in high school, but I was 80 pounds younger than too. Okay, who was asking?
I can't hear you real clear. What'd you say?
So who was asking? I was
Still not.
asking.
We're still breaking up, for me at least.
Yes, me too.
So you were asking where I live. I'm 10 minutes from Kim DeBoard, 15
Okay.
minutes from Vicki Monahan, about 15 to 20 minutes from Nicole Hildebrand.
Oh, cool.
These are people I ride with. Linda Pierce is one of my closest friends.
I live not so far from you guys. I mean, somewhat. I'm in Woodstock, Catskills.
Oh,
And I work in Poughkeepsie, so even
really
closer.
nice.
This is Daniel, by the way.
Yeah, hey, Daniel.
And I was gonna say, how fun it would be to get like a northeast contingent together, even just a small day. Go to maybe.
Oh, Kathy Hill is the other one.
Oh,
I've got Cheryl and Stephanie Pitts over here. So, it's Ken, and I'm in Albany.
They
they close. What is it, Springbrook in Westchester County? Every I forget Sunday or something like that for bike riders.
No way, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, during the season for a few hours, for say 3 or 4 hours. It'd be fun to all meet up down there.
Well, last race I did was out your way. I did Mountain Hill.
Oh, sure.
Cool.
I officiated that.
Really?
Yeah.
Was Blood Landis there?
I had the juniors.
Oh,
So I've got, Denise, who won it, right?
wow.
For the 57. She's 57.
Yeah, I took the 60 and up women.
Okay. Well, apparently Denise crashed and, fractured her wrist and
Oh,
cracked 7 ribs.
oh God.
But she still finished and won.
Oh my God. All right, that kind of heart I don't have.
I think she also went to the mountain bike nationals and won
Wow.
her age group.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I
Denise
did that race the
Esposito.
day after my 60th birthday.
Well, I think I've done that race, I don't know, 4 or 5 times.
Wow. Well, that was one that I recall debating. Red bike, gravel bike. Red bike, gravel bike.
Yes, sure.
I think in the end, I actually didn't use my road bike.
Well, I remember doing it as a neophyte on 23s.
Wow. Wow. That would not be easy. I'm sure I was probably on 28.
28's minimum, sure.
Yeah. It was really pretty, I have to say.
It's a magnificent ride.
I've also done gravel rides, just, social rides in the gunks.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been down there to do gravel rides.
You said in the gunks?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. That's where I grew up. I grew up in New Paltz.
Are you kidding? That was also gorgeous. But that was sort of borderline testing my gravel skills.
Yeah, they get pretty gnarly for moments. And sometimes they get gnarly right in the middle of a high-speed turn.
Yeah. Now, is Farmer's Daughter out that way? Because I've done that one too.
Yeah, that's right by us.
Okay, yeah. And that had single track, and I'll never do that again. I walked it. I walked all the single track.
You should look up for next year. There's one called the Cross Mountain Crusher, and it's 5 peaks of the Catskills.
Oh.
So it's like
on road, paved?
5,500 feet of climbing.
5,500 feet. So it's about 40%, 30 to 40% gravel.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
That was a fun ride. I've done that.
All right, send me a message with the name of that.
Sure.
I've done 6 Gap in Vermont. That's 133 miles with 13,000 feet of climbing. One day.
Wow.
Yep.
Won't do that again either.
You do D2, R2?
No. Thought about it, but been injured way too many times. It just has never worked out. I've crashed and burned quite a few times. I got hardware all over me now.
Yeah. Got it. My recollection is that's about 7,200 feet of climbing.
Yeah. Did one out in Colorado, the triple bypass. Did it because of the name, because my husband's a doctor. That one's like 120 miles with 10,000 feet of climbing and 3 mountain passes, but it's all paved.
Okay.
And the last 20 miles are downhill fairly significantly.
I'm eyeing a ride in Mallorca, Spain. Mallorca 312 kilometers.
I've never done Mallorca. I've seen pictures.
16,000 feet.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Holy God. Now that would take me all day.
There's a cutoff too. You got to finish in 14 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, the Marathon of the Dolomites I've done, and that's like that with cutoffs.
So if it's a cutoff for 14 hours, what if you're 10 hours in and you're like, what do you do?
There's different checkpoints you got to be through on time or they sweep you.
Yeah.
So if you don't hit a checkpoint like early, you could be out early. You're just not doing the pace.
Yeah, I'm not sure how early the earliest checkpoint is, but yeah. If you don't make a checkpoint, you get swept. Which would suck if you were deep in.
So in the Maratona, if you didn't make the checkpoint, the route had kind of a bypass at that point back to the start. So you kept riding, it just didn't count. or accounted for the shorter route. Because I missed the third one. I missed it because I ran into a friend at the top of the second rest stop and was chatting and eating strudel. I wasn't paying attention at all.
So here's some general information because y'all showed up for the meetup ride. You may, I don't know, some may find it interesting. There's a lot of changes going on for our pro team, and Zwift is still really aggressively trying to find that legitimacy with all things. They actually have initiated the petition to get entered as an Olympic sport.
Oh,
E-racing. So some of the people, like Ken, we talked about this when we were first standing up the team, and way back in the beginning, we were being questioned a lot, if you remember, on setup, on watts, on how we weighed in, where we were questioned. We were a test bed for a lot of things, and this was more than 2 years ago now. So for our pro team this year, or this next coming season, they will be racing with their trainers set to 100% difficulty, and that's a pretty significant change. All the racing has been at 50% difficulty. Zwift has the ability, when you are logged in, to actually go in and check your settings and even change your settings. So
wow. Big brother.
When they get in the pen for a, let's just call it a pro race because it's just the easiest way to refer to it. When they get in the pen for the pro race, Zwift will do either a verification or they will send some type of group signal to all the trainers, forcing them all to 100%. So that's a big change. Prize money. The prize money in these leagues has been 1 through 5. This upcoming season, they're going to pay out prize money down to 15th. Our team finished 10th in the last season.
Wow.
So they may, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but they may start winning some money, which is, again, kind of fun, I guess. Zwift is experimenting with power-ups, and there are a lot of experiments coming. So people at the higher end that are racing for money have mildly complained about the randomness of power-ups and how much effect they have on the race. So a new option is to assign specific power-ups to specific banners, and then you make the decision to deploy the power-up you have or to hold it because you know what the next banner is going to give you. And it changes, in theory, power-ups to a more tactical decision. You know, I don't know. You know, let's say you have the sprint hat and you're, I don't know, about to come into a climb where there's a feather, but there's a sprint after that. And, you know, do you keep your hat or do you go for the feather or something? I don't know. I'm just giving you the concept. So another thing, they're trying to increase their interaction on the broadcast with the audience. By the way, shifting over to GCN has put their viewership now into the tens of thousands, which still doesn't sound like anything significant, I guess, on a global scale. But you do have 10,000 people watching, you know, whatever you call it, an e-bike race.
Yeah, sure.
So to generate fan participation,
that's half Madison Square Garden. So.
They are looking at having fans vote on power-ups during the race. Now, the first version of fan voting would most likely be, hey, vote today for what you want the first banner to award next week on such and such a course. But it may progress to, you know, a Hunger Games type thing.
Oh my God, that's exactly what I thought.
Get your favorite rider an arrow hat now. Or,
Hey, Matt.
you know, get the anvil to Christian Kolchinski or something. So those are all things that are on the table. I don't have my notes in front of me. I had 3 pages of notes. Let me see if I can find something.
Dying.
So for multi-lap events that have, say, multiple, you know, a multi-lap event that has a sprint segment, for example, now this is again at the higher level. There was no talk of implementing this at the, you know, B, C, D, whatever, but each lap progressively increases the value of the sprint banner. And just so you know, I argued rather aggressively against this. My opinion is that it already overly, with just first over the line points, it overly favors the top 4 or 5 riders, and giving the top 4 or 5 riders even more point scoring opportunities really, I don't know, expands the differential between the top 5 and everybody else. So, you know, you get 18 teams. If you don't have one of the top 5 riders, you're racing for 15. You know, the 10 through 15. So, anyway, it's interesting. So that's one of the things. Let's see. What else do we have?
Are we there yet?
We're
We're
close.
close.
We're about less than a minute away.
So one of the things that Zwift has avoided getting in the discussion on is standardized equipment, because Zwift has relationships with many, many vendors, and they're trying to not be in the business of race on this. Hey, there's the banner. I'll cover more after we all do our high-speed super tuck down.
Oh.
This has that one little 10% kicker right before it goes down, right?
I think it does, right?
Yeah, up ahead,
No,
I think there's a...
That's Box Hill.
Oh, okay.
It's a different hill.
Yes.
Okay. If it wasn't for a bandit group up, meetup, I'd avoid this route.
That's sort of my plan with all of our routes.
I was still in the back, and I was still working very, very hard.
You'll see though, if you go up,
Look at that jersey.
but you can, if you just pedal a little bit, you'll never drop more than 10 seconds back. My son does this route with us, or does this ride with us, and he'll be 5-10 seconds back. He'll never totally lose touch. And even those seconds eventually come back, even if he's doing, 60, 70 watts.
Well, he'll be doing more than I am at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't see Rio on my screen on the right, the list of riders.
No, he's not riding. He's
a birthday party.
Okay, I thought I saw him logged into Discord.
I'm recording Discord with his account.
Okay.
I've always recorded the ride, but I've never been able to set Discord up, and then Reg does it. Well, actually, actually Jeff Duncan, he'll record through his son's account so that you're not messing with your phone. Because I turn on my music on and off my phone, but I can't record the audio from my phone. So I have my PC running his account.
So I set Discord as an input to my PC, and when I use OBH, and it asks for your audio, do you want to include audio, and then it asks what audio channel, I point to OBH at Discord and record off of my account.
Yeah, I struggle with using Discord on my actual PC.
Okay.
Honestly, what you just have probably was just because I can't see Discord, I never know if I'm muted or not.
So I run it's a 42-inch, I guess, TV in front of me, and then I also have it's decent sized, 22-inch monitor immediately to my left. So I'm running on the left. Normally I have Discord just so I can see who's in the channel, sometimes who's talking, because when we get with the bigger groups, I don't necessarily recognize all the voices. Yeah. And then we also bring up Zwift Power. So in races, I'm watching live heart rates for the riders around me.
Oh my God!
You guys are tucked up.
Yeah.
What the heck? Hey! It didn't break the bands.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I didn't know you could tuck, honestly.
Well, I was concerned about what it does to the band.
There we go. Got it. You should have seen, by the way, going down Von 2 like this yesterday, hitting like nearly 50 miles an hour. Going around hairpin turns. Oh, like, not in real life. No, thank you.
remember the day I hit 100 kilometers an hour on coming down Alp to Zwift.
Oh, you're kidding. That's where I got my first 40 mile an hour downhill little badge.
It's like, holy smokes.
In real life, I can't hit it. I've tried. I tried in a race one time. I thought maybe I could catch up with people on the descent. No. I lost more time. I have a faster bike now on the descents. Slower on the climbs, faster on the descents. But I'm not racing anymore outside. Too many crashes. Not doing that.
I know, the crash thing, man. I keep wanting to try. I've never ridden in a road race. And I've always wanted to try, but, you know.
Yeah. I loved it when I was doing it. I loved the Tuesday night training at super fast speeds. It was so exhilarating. But, I took back at the chances I took,
Did you do the Kermesse in Hartford?
No, I did Tokaniki though.
Oh, okay.
And it was Tokaniki that I was trying to go down the Barkhansen Reservoir at nearly 40 miles an hour, and I could only hit 30, 32.
Okay.
I couldn't do it. And I know that course like the back of my hand. I could ride it blindfolded. I've done it so many hundreds of times. I have trained that route. There have been years that every Wednesday night I went out with the Benidorm guys. The Horse Engineering and Benidorm guys. And we would ride that route like a flat out race. Only once around. I get a head start.
Right.
And they pass me every time, no matter how much of a head start I got. But, I really know that route. But, yeah. No, I crashed the first time, big time, 27 miles an hour on a flat, and shattered my collarbone and at least 4 ribs.
Right.
So I've got a giant piece of hardware in my shoulder. I just had absolutely major back surgery in the spring.
Wow.
So now I got lots more hardware.
Right.
I think I managed to snap the rubber band.
You are way up there, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say that when you tucked first on the downhill, you went right by me. I think it was the combination of the speed and not pedaling. So you hit, the 2 metrics, just not in the way that we were expecting.
I gotta say, I've done a few of these, and I've never seen anybody break off the front. That is so funny.
The not pedaling broke the band while not pedaling is, I think, the key.
So I have a question for you. Is it possible to add my husband, even though he doesn't intend to race, but he'd like to do some of the ATP social rides with us like this?
Yes. But he may occasionally get the annoying message of, hey, we need a rider tomorrow night, because the primary focus is basically team racing And if there's team standings and there's open for 5 riders and we have 4, then typically I pull up the list and let's just say I need a D rider. I pull up the list.
He's
I
a
pull
D.
up the list and I start looking at D riders and I hit the call of I need a D rider.
Yeah, the chances of him ever being available on a weeknight are 0. His hours are horrific. Like really, truly horrific. You know, at 64 years old, he's still working well over 100 hours a week.
Wow. There goes Scott.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a family physician. Yeah. He has like no free time. He could sometimes ride on Wednesdays in the evening because he finishes a little early. And sometimes he can ride on a Thursday morning because he sees patients from 1 till 8 on Thursdays. But he does way less hours on the trainer than I do because he has less time. He's not riding today. He just kissed me goodbye and went to the office. Moved the fan for me so it faced me because it's still facing his bike. And lets me go to work. But he did climb on 2 with me yesterday. So I can tell you that from where the race ended at Chalet Renaud, there was another 3 miles to the actual summit. Just so you know, should you choose to put yourself through that.
Don't scare him away, Randy. I need him here next week.
Oh, next weekend I'm flying. We're flying out to Denver on Thursday morning. Our youngest son lives out there. It's our annual go to the movies and eat Indian food on Christmas Day thing. I used to take the kids skiing.
So this is Box Hill. Oh no, this is just Oak Hill.
See, I'm putting out 2.7 watts to stay with you guys.
Box is to the left.
Yeah, Box is the left turn.
It's the left here. Here we go.
There it is.
Yeah,
Randy, if you dropped to 1.0, you wouldn't lose us.
You would
lose a couple meters, but you wouldn't vanish.
It would reach a point and pull her back up.
Yeah,
you would literally slingshot like
rubber band.
all of it. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give that a try.
So, John, was there any more interesting potential future modifications on the ZRL? Or
Zwift was aggressively getting into the hardware scene for a little while. However, that whole project seems to have been put on hold. So they've tightened their list of approved equipment for the high-end races down to trainers plus or minus 2% on data accuracy. So for example, on the Saris, the only real difference between their what used to be called their Hammer, now their H3 and then their newer H2, the H3 was rated from the factory at 2.5%, and the H2 was rated at 2%. And Zwift has hinted that they are actually going to tighten the list of approved equipment.
Wow.
Yeah, because potentially it causes confusion of you can use this piece of equipment for group rides or non-spec races, but you must use this piece of equipment for, all the other things. So that's coming. They are now, so if there's a section on the Zwift page with their esports rules. It's been there all along, and it gets updated regularly, but it takes a little bit of effort to find it. And the last page is suspended or banned riders, and they're public. I mean, there have been some pretty big names that have been suspended or banned from Zwift racing. So that page is pretty public. They are now at the pro level. Any questionable data, they're going to ask people to go to one of Zwift's designated testing facilities and test. If you pass the test, all of your expenses will be reimbursed. If you don't pass the test, none of your expenses will be reimbursed, and you will be on the banned or suspended or whatever list. That is a step towards tightening their legitimacy concerns, and that's what that's all about. Is that the events? So pre-COVID, they were touring the U.S. doing in-house events. They looked awesome. They would set up, I think it was 12 bicycles in like an auditorium. Sometimes they were 6 like across from each other. I've also seen them set up basically the semicircle with big monitors behind each rider, and they would host the race, and everybody is on the same equipment right there in the room. It's a kind of, if you've gone, almost everybody has gone to some type of bicycling race, especially the longer ones that are, point to point. Your entire viewing time is 40 seconds. So this is, it could be, it could catch on. And if they were going to do an Olympic style event, they would host it like that, similar to, the track racing where you're just right there in the auditorium. So they are working hard. Some of the weird rules that you may see, look at them from the perspective of trying to force a legitimacy on a public that still looks at this as a video game.
Right.
The next big news is the club function has been enabled, something that we've been asking for quite some time. And Daniel is one of the experimental. He's been selected to be a club manager. There were the meetups. If you've ever done a meetup, the meetups are awkward. They're hard. The people don't just show up easily in your companion app to add the people. You have to search for them. It'll only display a certain number of people. Even if you redo, like if you hit ATP, you would think that most people have ATP after their name and that they would all show up. That's when I do a meetup, I search for ATP. We have 400 people and the screen displays 100. So the first 100, I'll get, some type of invite, we'll say, and the other 300 think I forgot them, except that I have to, search for them name by name. It's really awkward. So the club function was our answer, and there were 2 key features for the club function. One is we asked for more than 100 riders, and two, we asked for the ability to create banded club rides. And the club function came out, 100 riders, no banded rides. So we're, we're working on this. If Daniel could just create an event as a banded event and post the link, anybody could join. Especially, we would post it. We would try to post it to our club, but oftentimes those private links get shared outside of the environment. But, ideally, that's how this would work. So we're partway there on the club functionality. So Crystal also got selected. Crystal is creating a club and trying to invite all the ATP women to it. And again, the women have scheduled many of their own functions. They are very active participants in both the mixed racing and the mixed club activities. But they do have their own little niche. And Crystal's working on developing the club function there. So I guess that's kind of news.
Yeah, that is.
How do you recruit pro riders?
I don't. I do almost no recruiting, almost none. But if I were recruiting, I go to Zwift Power race results. I look at a person's profile. I look for anomalies, things like entering in the wrong category, questionable results, inconsistencies with data. And if I see any of that, I move on. If everything looks right, I look to see if they have any way to be contacted. The easiest way is if they have a public Strava account, because I can message them there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have messaged through the Zwift app, but I try not to harass people. I mean, if they're, we stopped recruiting, actively. I stopped actively recruiting 6 months ago. Over on the WTRL site, people, it might even be more than 6 months, but anyway, over on the WTRL site, people post that they're looking for a team. And if they there are some teams, a person posts that they're looking for a team, and in some cases, within 3 or 4 minutes, there are 2 or 3 teams that look like they're sitting on those posts waiting for them, and they will take everybody. I go through the same process. If I see that they hit all of the metrics, then I will send a note.
Back to the club functionality. Eventually, these rides will be club linked, like you said, I'm sure, but basically until that option you talked about of doing the banded ride is there, it's not really worth it. But I wonder if we could do our pre-GRL, chase trophy league or whatever it is, the chase race that we try to do and see what category takes the cake.
So we've had up to 80 riders in that event, which is just funny. So what we need to do is, I guess, how about you do it? Yeah. Go set up an event. We don't care how many people are in it. Is it going to start you on the side of the road? Is it going to start you in a pen? What? Right. I mean, go set up an event, and right. I haven't set an event up yet. Look and see what kind of link you're going to get. Look, can you choose, a route with a pen? Will you have access to A, B, C, D? Not that we need it. We would know individually.
Right.
But yeah, there's We have a lot to learn on the club function still.
How you guys doing? I saw you all behind me, but John kept talking, so I didn't say hi yet. Coming from the outside on those club functions, I remember something saying you could set up races so they'd start in the pens.
Okay. Yeah,
that'd be ideal.
Right. That was supposed to remove the burden from the Zwift event team for smaller races that people wanted, within their own group.
How long do you guys have left here?
5K. We're on our way home.
I just did the herd race, and you guys were creeping up behind me on the climb.
How'd you do? How was it?
Lots more competition than last week Saturday night. I got like 30th.
What was it? It was obviously London, right?
It was Box Hill. I don't know what the route was, but I think it's the same finish we're doing now. I don't know the routes that well. I just attacked a bunch right away and tried to survive on the time.
Yeah.
I just want a badge.
What badge? Oh, you just want the badge. Yeah.
I just want the badge. So far, I did not look, but so far each of the rides I've done, I've got the badge. So, but I know I did then too. But I don't know. Are you doing the actual? What do they call it? Like from the beach to the top? There's a name for it or something. I mean, it's not just the mountain, right? You're in the mountain or something like that.
No, it's got the lead in. I believe when you set it up as a meetup, I think it adds the lead in, which is long. It's as long as mine.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That the route is more than that. Out the Zwift.
That rubber band really slows you guys down on the descent.
Not me.
Look at Jen out front.
You're pulling them a little bit, huh? Does it like average your guys' power somewhat or something to hold you together?
It averages our speed. But then we had a really thing happen. We were coming down the back of Leaf Hill, and Scott Sawyer went off the front, but we all started super tucking. So if you're not pedaling, the band dissolves. So a lot of us
look at you, Randy.
Back. And then Scott Sawyer was a minute off the front.
I'm like light pedaling, and you guys are a minute 10 behind me. I was surprised by that. Must be slowing you down quite a bit.
Yeah. I think we go uphill faster and downhill slower. Yeah, because last week we did Ride the Empire in New York, and on Strava it was my PR. Even though I raced that route.
The subway's coming up.
I did absolutely nothing.
That big gradient up the subway. Up the tube.
You know what I've also noticed is the split times, the negatives, sometimes are really off. My screen, like a few seconds ago, had you up like 35 seconds, negative 35 above me.
Correct.
But if I click on you, you're only like 100 meters ahead.
Oh, really?
So all the D-side fans out there appreciate Richard Carter gossip. I was chatting with him, and he's moving out of the gym. And he's going to start doing velodrome in real life again on the more endurance-oriented races. So he's telling us not to expect the same from him next D-side series. And he'll probably do B, and I'll be in B. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun fireworks.
Ooh, 4.3 watts. My daughter lives near Oxford, England. So I've ridden there many, many times. Rode across Wales once.
Who had an hour 30 on the distance poll, on the time poll?
It's so hard to gauge. Like I did best bike split, and it said it would take us 56 minutes. It's just, it's like
56 minutes is quick.
I think what I have to do is go to races that have been on the circuit we use, or on the route we use, and look at like the CD timing, CD finishes. Because there's a race last night on this, and it looks like the D's finished in 136, and the C's finished in 122. So I think I'll try to use that as a gauge.
Can you guys draft people outside of your event?
Does not look like it.
Oh, so you guys are cutting close here. Oh, I guess you'd still get the badge anyway. You keep riding.
Yeah. Did the person who did the meetup not give us enough distance or time?
No, I just put in the route. I've never done anything but that, so.
You guys got it. You'll have a minute to spare. I just crossed.
I don't think you have to do it in an hour and a half.
No, it was just there have been times where you got to go like a little beyond the banner before you get the badge sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like we have a couple hundred yards beyond the banner. Oh yeah. Oh shoot, I don't have my phone ready. Boom!
Got
Route
it.
complete.
Yeah.
So I didn't think I had this one. Very nice.
Nice, that was cool.
Now we're 28.
Oh, but it's funny, the group ride didn't finish yet. So
No,
You know, it's coming up. It's coming up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coming up. You can see the blue.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. There's still a couple hundred feet.
Perfect. Great way to start the morning. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you.
And I got 800 more experience points. That takes me to... Is there a thing up here? I don't know.
There we go.
I thought there was.
Yeah, I'm getting close to 42, and I can get those fancy wheels.
Oh, yeah, the GT Swift, is that those?
Yeah, I think those are the fastest. I'm still not using the fastest bike, though. I like my yellow bike.
Looking, I thought somewhere it said I thought it said here. I don't see it. That's odd.
All right, I got to bounce, guys.
Yep.
Always a pleasure. See you next week.
You're going to do the same?
Oh, next week's like something horrible, right?
Christmas.
Yeah, man.
Christmas, yeah.
Baby.
Oh,
right.
I'm going to miss next week. Coming back from Denver. In fact, I won't even walk in my door till after midnight Sunday. Well, Monday morning.
All right, well, I'll catch you guys later.
It was good running
Yeah,
into
have
you
a
guys.
good holiday, everybody.
Yes, you too.
See ya.
Thank you.
It was great. Thank you so much. Thanks.
If I have to pick up my son.